if we believe you. All right, part 2 or 3 or something like that. So we're going to go faster for the next one so that you guys at home can pause rather than going along when we do it slower. So this is the second half of the lecture, and it's going to go a lot faster. There were 4 groups plus one little side group again. So the first group was like sterols, okay? And I'm going to go, actually, here, let me go ahead and restart this. Who cares? You can see a mistake, that's fine. So colesterols, all right? Cholesterol base, what do you call those things? It's the steroid hormones. All right, steroid hormones. Steroid hormones, all right? 2 things underneath this one. Steroid hormones, you have PECT are the initials. You have prostaglandin, estradiol, cortisol, and testosterone. Estradiol is the one that I wanted to remember. Cortisol is the one we all feel. Testosterone, sterone, and prostaglandin. And it's a word, prostaglandin. I've said it 3 times. There we go. So those are the 4 that we need to know. They're all steroid hormones. They'll cross the cell membranes. They're made of lipids. That's why we're talking about them in the lipid lecture. Next. And I just remember PECT, and that reminds me of all of those. PECT. Next, we have the cholic acid and deoxycholic acid. And for this one, I think of the colon, or not the colon, I think of the GI tract, and cholic makes me think of that. And fancy that, that's where they go. That's why they're named that. These are some of the biosalts that go in to the stomach. So that is my stomach. Yes, I need to see a doctor. Okay. Okay, so I have a little stomach there. Moving on from steroids, we now have, I have like this bottle of turpentine. I have a can of turpentine over here because these are terpenes. Okay? Turpentine. Terpenes. All right, terpenes are what make up their little pieces of steroid hormones and a bunch of other things. There are 3 terpene things that you want to remember. There's monoterpenes, which are often volatile, fragrant substances, such as methanol. You can smell it. Lemon, whatever you call the lemon one, it says lemon, and it smells like lemon.
Balm.
Lemon balm, yeah, but the actual substance is like limonol or something like that. But you see it, you know it's lemon. It has lemon in the name. So the second one, we have rhodopsin. So you can have that little cone and an eye next to it. An eye that is like, I am seeing things. All right, so that's the rhodopsin cone, if you like rhodopsin cones. And there's a so di, mono, tri. So the di one is in rhodopsin, and it's cool that way. An example of a triterpene is wool. Has that quality that doesn't let it get wet. It's kind of like wax covered, grease covered, sheep's wool, lamb's wool, and that's because of triterpenes that are in there. Okay, that's the entire category of terpenes. We're moving on to a 3rd category. Told you this would be faster. All right, this one is arachidonic acid and all the stuff it breaks into, which is actually like super cool. Arachidonic acid.
Sounds like a dinosaur.
What was that?
Sounds like a dinosaur. I know.
Sounds like a dinosaur? All right. So we have prostaglandins. And yes, thromboxanes, that's true. I was going to say, and prostaglandins were first discovered inside the prostate gland. That's why they're named that. It helps to know so that you can remember. So thromboxanes. Both of these. Oh, okay. And I want to have a different order. So we're going to move the thromboxanes down here. Leukotrienes. Leukotrienes. All right. Prostaglandins and leukotrienes both do inflammation. By ordering them in certain ways, it makes it really easy to have it all put together. And thromboxanes, those help with, if you think of thrombocytes, and another word for platelets, thromboxanes help with platelets. So it's really in the name, and so that one I was just like happy with. Then you have lipoxins. And it might be lipoxides. This is one of the ones where I'm happy to be a little bit soft on the name, because that's worked for me, but I understand it doesn't work for everybody. So lipoxins, lipoxides, and moving on. Those are the four things arachidonic acid leads to. It doesn't just break up into all four of these things immediately. There's a pathway for it. But eventually, if you want to study ahead, studying ahead on arachidonic acid would be really beneficial, because this is where a lot of things like NSAIDs, they play into that. And so you can have a lot of fun there. Now, another thing that you can have fun with is, I just have like a picture of a plant leaf here. Okay, it's a leaf. And we have plant sterols and plant stanols. These are super cool, like really super cool, because, and she didn't actually like touch really deeply on this in lecture, and I've been looking up papers, and it's probably what next research, like the research thing that we're doing next quarter, I'm going to be like all over. Anyway, sterols and stanols are plant cholesterols, except our body doesn't absorb them very well. Matter of fact, these get in the way of you absorbing normal cholesterol. And so if you're eating a lot of plants that have sterols and stanols, which most vegetables do, it actually blocks absorption of cholesterol from your other dietary intake. And so what is something that we have a problem with in America? Cholesterol.
High cholesterol.
High cholesterol. And this is totally not in the lecture, but it's super cool. It was in a different lecture. There was one with sunlight having an effect on 7-dehydrocholesterol, turning it into D3. There are studies showing that that actually has an effect on cholesterol levels that's significant when you're in the sunshine more often. And they've actually linked how long you're in the sun to how often you have hypertension and high blood cholesterol and that kind of stuff. So this is all cool. Sterols and stanols compete with the same uptake mechanism that cholesterol has. And sterols and stanols get uptaken much more slowly and are also put back out much more quickly than the typical cholesterol. So there's like 3 different ways or something like that that they make cholesterol lower in your body. Main point, they block cholesterol. They compete with cholesterol. All right, those are the 4 categories. If you want to pause this and go ahead and review them, that's fantastic. Make sure you put in pictures. If you put in pictures while we go, then congratulations if you can go that fast. I can't go quite that fast, I don't think. But yeah, if you do it while the teacher goes in class, then that means you can do it in class. But pausing is great too. Was that a question?
Yeah. What is wool?
What is wool? Triterpene.
Yeah.
It's one of the types of terpene that's found around wool. That's why wool has a greasy texture.
Oh.
And that's why sheep in the rain don't weigh 3 times their body weight, because they've soaked up all the water in the rain. Okay. And then they're,
Okay.
So,
you will never forget it again. No. I just see leftover sheep in the rain.
Oh, those poor sheep. All right, last thing. Sterols, stanols, terpenes. Arachidonic acid. I have a spider right there next to arachidonic acid, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And alright. And the +1. +1. We have boom, boom, boom. You should have lipids as no more than 30% of your diet. Okay? And that's a less than sign. 30% or less. Equal. Saturated. I have a picture of someone sitting down for right here because it's saturated. That says saturated. Should be no more than 10%. Okay? And then, this is really nice for people who like numbers and are math nerds. 30 times 10 is 300. You shouldn't be having more than 300, I think it was milligrams, units or something you'll want to double check me on. 300 milligrams of cholesterol. Cholesterol in your daily diet. And so you want to have less than 300 milligrams of cholesterol in your daily diet. And that's it. So, hopefully that helps. Question?
Yeah, what was the other thing that we talked about? Steroids, terpenes.
Steroids, terpenes, arachidonic acid, and then plant sterols and stanols.
Sterols and stanols.
Oh, and by the way, for stanols, I have like a superhero going like this. He's standing in his superhero stance. I happen to be a hero. Yeah, alright. So.
Hey, Hercules.
Yep.
Hey, come on, Disney. You know I know it.
Yep. Disney's awesome. And my brother-in-law, we'll talk about that some other time, but fun times, fun times. So, yeah, that's the whole lecture. And as you can see, when you aren't doing external memory techniques, it goes a lot faster, and you can review this in like no time. So, just build those things as you go along, and in your head it's fast. And thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.